Hey, we're back. You can't have March Madness without us.
We're the Madness.
Coach Ed Young, I'm Matt Hatfield.
No,
it's not Midnight Madness. It's March Madness. College basketball in full swing, but you can hear us every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Your head's in the way. They can't see the numbers.
Okay, I'll move my head.
94.1 ESPN. You won't see us, but you'll hear us.
Or as a college football coach once said, on ESPN Radio 94.1. High School Sports Talk. And you can find us on Twitter, too, at HS Sports Talk 941. You can't find Ed on Twitter yet because he doesn't have one, but we're working on that.
I don't play with Twitters.
If you can make $500,000 playing the game Fortnite, then I'll
get a Twitter account.
I think Ed might get a Twitter or something.
I can make you give me that kind of money playing whatever that is, I'll get Twitter.
We have a couple of rants today. We have college basketball Elite Eight to see who goes to the Final Four picks for this weekend. We got our MLB, it's Major League Baseball over-unders. A lot to get to. We just closed up shop on the high school state basketball tournament, Ed.
We had 2 local champions.
We did. Actually 3 if you include the Northern Neck, as your dog is barking to tell you that it was 3, not 2.
I always got people trying to catch my
You got to feed the dog before you leave.
It's a dog.
Lancaster boys in the Northern Neck won one, but we had on Coach Kenny Brown of Lake Taylor boys winning a state title, and Coach Darnell Dozier of the Princess Anne girls winning a state title. So we'll do a quick little minute here on high school before we move into the college pro scene. Great to talk with both of them. Coach Dozier's 9th, Coach Brown's 1st, and he really poured out his heart. Ed, Big 3 led the way with Darion Sebron, Joe Bryant, the Norfolk State signee, and Jalen Jordan. Sebron might be making a college commitment here soon as he is taking an official visit this week in North Texas. James Miller, an assistant coach there, who you know used to be at New Mexico Junior College, recruited some players there. And, of course, also was at Arkansas State on the coaching staff, and he moved to North Texas. So he's got a familiarity with the 757, and I think if he is to choose there, and there's a lot of good places that would be a good fit, but I think that would be a good fit for Sebron if he is to go there.
The only problem there is it's a long way from home. And sometimes kids get these big ideas of moving away, and then once they're away, they're a little homesick. So if he can make it work, yeah, I think it's a good place for him to play. It's Conference USA, Old Dominion's conference. I just hope it works out for the young man.
Yeah, he's a good player, for sure. And I think the best player we might have saw in the tournament, you didn't see him, but you saw some highlights of him, was Mac McClung.
Oh, I've seen the highlights of him, yes.
3 VHSL records for Mac McClung. State scoring record, career state scoring record for a season, and state scoring record for a state championship game, breaking records set by J.J. Reddick and Allen Iverson and Caleb Tanner. If you were to pick an all-state team of all the divisions, you had to pick 5 guys, not 6. And there's a lot of them picking 8. And now you got emails for Class 5. We might have to do this together because I'm picking them for the 6 VHSL divisions for Virginia Preps for the next couple weeks, along with all underclass teams. I think McClung and Sebron are locks. Quentin Malora Brown of South County is a lock.
Big 6'10" kid going to Rice.
Yep. Who would be your last 2 spots? This is tricky. Would you put up, even though his team didn't win it all, Jordan Miller from Loudoun Valley? So you got two flashy wings in Miller and Sebron there.
He would fit the bill.
You need a point guard though now. Now you need a point guard because you got a 2 guard and you got every position pretty much covered now. You got 2 guard, you got 2 wings, you can play. You don't have to have a power forward. You got a big man in the center, and Malora Brown. So who's your point guard? You got to pick a point guard.
I'm sitting there thinking about state tournament. We watched a lot of the games there.
Yeah.
Who got their team deep?
You know who we didn't even put on the top 5? I take that back. You know who you might have to put on there? Isaiah Todd of John Marshall, the #1 sophomore in the country. Oops, we forgot about him. How about he be your point guard? Let Sebron play the point. Let him play the wing with Miller, and there you go. There's your 5.
Okay, that's my 5. I'll take it.
There you go. That's a pretty doggone good 5. Who was if you had to say, had the best season of those 5 guys? Is it McClung just because of what he achieved?
Yeah, and you look at it, I don't think people thought he'd be as good. I think another record he might have set is most dunks in a season.
Yeah, he had a lot of dunks.
I mean, nobody has that official record of that. But anyways, and that's not a big stat to begin with. But he really led his team well. He put up numbers, and the kid seems so humble.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would go.
What was the biggest, before we move now into the other topics, what was the biggest surprise to you this year? Anything that really jumped out at you, boys, girls? Was it Salem boys winning the region title as an 8 seed?
Well, you had, I think, a lot of topsy-turviness going on in the tournament. A lot of lower seeds won in the different divisions. I don't know what you put a handle on that. Is it just like NCAA tournaments? Is it parity that these smaller teams, smaller schools are winning games from conference? We hadn't heard about them all year because they weren't on TV. I don't know what it is. I guess it just shows more and more that when you stay focused to what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, buying in what you're doing, you can beat people, especially if if you work hard, not quite as talented, but you work hard, and the talented kids aren't working hard, then you can get them. Talented teams that work hard, you're not going to beat.
Speaking of the NCAA tournament, this is the official bracket. You don't see any really markouts. That's the official bracket. Because mine's in a trash can. Mine didn't go too far. I had Michigan State over Arizona. But you had Duke still, so you're alive.
I had Duke from
He's
the beginning.
alive and well, America. Ed Young is not dead
I
yet.
have two of
They've tried to kill him off, but he's not dead yet.
2 of my Final Fours are still involved.
Wow,
Villanova and Duke.
I've got Villanova's my lone Final Four.
Anybody that said they had Kansas State or Loyola, because one of them is going to Final Four, lie.
Lying dog.
Anybody that had Michigan
well, no,
and Florida
Michigan,
State in the Final Four,
them meeting.
lie.
I give you them meeting, but people had Michigan. People had Michigan. They were good. They had,
Final Four?
Yeah, they won the Big Ten or a 3 seed. That's not
coming out of a division. Who was in that division?
You had Xavier was the 1 and North Carolina was the 2. So
yeah, I had Carolina.
Yeah, but then beating UNC wouldn't have been an upset. 2-3 is not an upset.
No,
I don't care what you say.
It's not an upset.
Even though he was on a rant this earlier this winter about. Well, it's not winter. It's spring now.
Spring.
Back in the
spring
winter,
has sprung.
Not in Hampton Roads it hasn't.
I feel different.
Not in Hampton Roads it hasn't.
Hey, we're not getting no more snow the rest of the spring.
Oh dear
Guaranteed.
God, he didn't say
Write
that.
it down.
They're calling for snow next week.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Let me check my weather report.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We got
Rain.
more important things. It'll turn to snow because of those who you are. Michigan will beat Florida State. They should.
Yeah, but don't bet the house on it. Florida State could be the most athletic team in this tournament.
Their bench is great. Have you seen what their bench has been doing? Their bench has been outscoring people.
I know
like 3
you
to
bash
1.
Leonard Hamilton a lot.
I do,
but
I don't think he's that great.
That team is very talented, and they've got a couple of pros on that team.
Nice fella, not that great a coach. That's just my opinion.
Leonard, I like you.
I'm sure you do. You want to go out to eat with Leonard?
I wouldn't mind it.
I will
picks up the tab, yes.
I will take John Beeline because his team is the only team in this tournament that can match shot for shot Villanova from 3. They shot outrageously good from 3 against Texas A&M. Jordan Poole only had one of those shots, by the way, who had the game-winning shot. And by the way, I had Houston going to the Final Four. Thanks a lot, Kelvin Sampson. You're on the same boat with Leonard Hamilton and Penny Hardaway and Bradley Beal, and we'll get to all you guys in a moment.
That's a big gamble going with Houston all the way to the Final Four. You can't get crazy on these picks. You got to stay chalk as long as you can.
Who else was on our boat with Beal and Penny and all them? We had someone else on the boat this morning.
I try not to stay in the negative vein.
Trying to get him on the boat. But Beeline done a great job there. I think Florida State will play them close, but Michigan can win a close game. We've proven that.
Yeah, Michigan win that. I would pick Michigan to win that.
Here's the one where we differ, America. We disagree, and you might see this after this game is over, and one of us will look like a smart guy, and the other one will look like a total dope. But we're anybody that had these two teams is totally lying to you. The number 9 Kansas State and the number 11 Loyola. If I put a weapon to Ed's head, I can't say good. I'll spell it for you. He would not be able to name you one kid on either one of these two teams, Kansas State or Loyola. He will tell you about Sister Jean.
Sister Jean Loyola is a good human interest story.
She is. And as I pointed out on Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you need to do so at Hatfield Sports. She looks like I've seen her before. She played Adelaide Brubaker, Nedra Voles, the housekeeper on Different Strokes, which was a great show. It's her all day. 20 years ago. She's only aged a little bit. She was 78 back then. She's 98 now. She's a great woman. We wish her all the best.
We got people out there that don't even know where Loyola of Chicago is located. How about that one?
And if you think that's a great photo comparison, you haven't seen anything until you've seen Ed Young's twin brother, Andy Landers, women's college basketball analyst on ESPN, as our gal Q Gallison pointed out this morning. That is your twin brother who's on TV. He used to coach at Georgia. But
good guy.
Yeah, and a lot better guy than you are. Kansas State, Loyola. You're going K-State. My man Bruce Weber. Brucey.
K-State. You got Loyola.
I got Loyola. I think Sister Jean has one more win in them. They shot incredibly well. 75% second half, 42 points.
13 in a row to open up the
42 points on layups. And to your point, you're going to tell me, listen, Kentucky only had 14 points on layups and 2 points on dunks. They're not going to get layup city on Kansas State. That's what you're going to tell me, right?
No.
Guess what? This is where Loyola's going to hit the 3 ball, and K-State's going to be a little sluggish. I think Loyola catches them napping for a little bit.
You better be on your game because Loyola, they won 3 games by 4 total points. That's almost unheard of.
And this one's going to be close, and they're going to make it a 4th. But guess what? When they get to the Final Four against Michigan, it's not going to be that close because Michigan's going to shoot lights out. I will say this, though. I'm happy for Bruce Weber. People wanted him canned at Kansas State. He's a great coach. He showed it in 2005 with Illinois' team that went to the national championship and lost to UNC. That team, remember, had a great trio of D. Brown, Deron Williams, Luther Head. Almost beat UNC that year in a title game. He coached well at Southern Illinois, got them deep in the tournament to Sweet 16 and Elite Eights, and now he's doing it at Kansas State as a 9 seed. He's done a fantastic job. Other side of the bracket, and I would argue, Ed, that 3 of the 4 best teams, if not the 4 best teams remaining, are on the side with the East and the Midwest, with Villanova, Texas Tech, Kansas, and Duke. I'm not a big Kansas guy this year. I still think that I don't want to say residue, but losing Frank Mason hurts them. I know Devontae Graham's played great, as has Malik Newman. As a bouquet inside, has given them that post presence that they badly needed. But they tried to give that game away against Clemson. They were up 20, it got down to 4, and if they had 5 more minutes, Clemson might have won. Clemson might have won. They were self-destructing. Get it? Self-destructing?
So you use that every year. Self-destruct. Kansas will self-destruct in a tournament. I think this is a year they can win it all. This is
No way!
This is a year Kansas can win it all.
No way. If Kansas wins the national championship, I will kiss a pig on this video show. A pig.
No pig deserves that. Now they got to get by Duke and Villanova, which would be 2 tremendous wins, and then win the championship game. But if you can beat Duke and Villanova, I don't care who's on the other side.
They're not winning both of those. I'm not sure they're winning the first one against Duke, because that dynamic duo of Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter, you're talking about 2 lottery picks. You're talking about maybe the 2 best front court players left in the tournament. They combined for 36 points and 19 rebounds against Syracuse in that great 2-3 vaunted zone defense that Jim Boeheim runs. Duke's got their own zone defense, and I think they're going to discombobulate the Jayhawks before they can even self-destruct.
Oh, remains to be seen. In one poll I got Kansas winning, in the other poll I've got Duke winning, so I'm good either way.
How do you still have 2 pools left?
Yeah, you put a little chump change in the pot, and there you go.
Chump change is the guy that
we're not advocating gambling as against the law.
We don't do that, but we're doing over-unders later, so there you go.
Strictly for donuts.
For donuts, yeah. Villanova, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a great story. Chris Beard, nobody knew who he was. People outside of Lubbock probably don't know who he is still. And he's going to try to beat the sharply dressed Jay Wright and Villanova Wildcats. Is your National Player of the Year Jalen Brunson? You hear so much about Bagley and Ayton, who's going to be the first pick. Is it Jalen Brunson? Because he's been great.
Brunson's pretty good.
He's great.
Good pedigree there. His dad played at Temple, played in the NBA.
Yeah.
Kid is tremendous. When you hear Jay Wright talk about him, it's like kid can do no wrong. Tremendous in practice, great leader. Certainly whoever wins the tournament, you're going to look at probably their best player and say player of the year.
Well, he's usually comes out before that, though.
Yeah, but I think Brunson's easily a good pick.
I might give him the pick. I think Villanova's going to win whether he plays great or not, because even if he does it, he can set his teammates up to do well and create baskets for them. And you have Mikal Bridges, you have other DiVincenzo. They have other weapons that can score. Amari Spellman's coming on for them. I don't know if Texas Tech, they had that run against Purdue, and I think Purdue missing Isaac Haas, it showed in the second half last night when they had that run. So we're gonna agree on 3 to 4 games. Ed's got K-State, Michigan, Villanova, Duke. I got Loyola, Sister Jean. I'm rooting for you, Dolores Jean Schmidt. Loyola, Michigan, Villanova, Duke, and your champion is Duke?
Duke.
I got Duke as well, but I would be happy if Villanova won. I think Jay Wright has been one of the more underappreciated great coaches in the sport. I think that, until 2 years ago, nobody gave him his just due because they lost in the tournament a lot. And 2 and 3 years would be quite an achievement in this one-and-done era, where he sometimes gets a few of those guys, but not the big names that Kentucky, at Duke, and North Carolina, some of the power schools might get.
No, he gets his share, but he's not getting a lot of McDonald's All-Americans, and he's got 3 and 4 pros. I mean, he does a good job, and he's got kids that will probably play in the pro, but in the NBA. But I don't think he gets his just due. I think the guy averages in the last 4 years, averages 31 wins.
Yeah, really a guard-driven program too. Speaking of coaches, there's a new one at Memphis. Your good buddy Penny Hardaway, who we don't care too much for. I ripped his Penny Hardaway doll off because he wouldn't come on our show.
How do you fire Tubby Smith and replace him with Penny Hardaway? I get it. You got to put people in the stands. He's
recruiting
from Memphis. He didn't graduate from Memphis now, okay?
So, that doesn't mean anything.
And that's strictly what this shows. Has nothing to do with coaching. Has nothing to do with morale.
Ooh.
moral, so to speak.
Good work. That's good
because, and I'm not against Penny Hardaway. I love watching Penny Hardaway play, and I love
Blue
him in
Chips?
the NBA.
Did you love Blue Chips?
Love Blue Chips. Look what he played in Blue Chips. A player taking money, taking goods, because he did it when he played.
So you're saying that movie was more reality than fiction?
Oh, come on. That movie is so reality, it's ridiculous. If you haven't seen Blue Chips, rent it. I think you can get it for $2 in a $2 bin. It's worth it. It's anybody who's a basketball person, get Blue Chips. It never goes out of style.
You want the edited or unedited version?
Get the unedited. If they have an unedited, I want to see it too. Get the unedited.
A lot of bleeps though.
My man, who plays who's the
Nick
coach?
Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Plays a great role in that.
Shaq was in it. Can you dig it?
Yeah, all that stuff in there.
Bob Knight, Rick Pitino were in that movie. Enough said. Rick Pitino was in the movie. Enough said.
Enough said. That Penny Hardaway getting hired is a farce. At Memphis. That I get why.
But he was a highly successful high school coach. He won state championships.
He was, and as a high school coach, I'm glad a high school coach is getting a chance to be a college coach because very rarely they ever get hired.
Are you really? It doesn't seem like you're glad.
Well, no, that part I am. I don't dislike Penny Hardaway.
I do.
I dislike the situation. Right. Well, he did kind of stiff us to coming on the radio show.
He and Brad Beal. Shame on you, Brad Beal.
ESPN Radio Saturday mornings.
Shame on you. We were at the Booplex Live. Amari Stoudemire was willing to come on. We had Jay Billis. We had Tim Legler. Penny, Bradley Beal said,
Yeah, Bradley Beal, how they rate you as one of the best.
I got a phone call. Hold on a second. I'll come in a few minutes, guys. Hold on a second. This is one of
Bradley Beal.
Yeah. That was Penny.
Oh, either one. I have no time for you. Bradley Beal, John Wall makes the train go in D.C., not you.
Now that you did your rant, I'm going to do mine because I was on the Dan Patrick Show this week. Did you know that? Not live as a guest, but my tweet was on the Dan Patrick Show.
Well, then you weren't. It's the tweet.
Hatfield Sports. Well, I made
your body has to be on Dan Patrick for me to say.
My body's
I know the guy.
My body's not going anywhere. I tell you, I ain't worked out.
That's a whole other story.
I told Dan and the Danettes that I love the interviews on the show, his interaction with guests, knowledge, all that. But to act like Wilt Chamberlain isn't on MJ, that's Michael Jordan, or LeBron, what's LeBron James, all-time greatness level because of shooting rings hollow to me. Wilt shot 72.7% his last season, 54% for his career. Dan was trying to convey that on the all-time great food chain, that because, I'm going to paraphrase here, so I don't want to make the Dan Patrick Nation upset, that because it was a different era, players were more athletic today, which I'll give you that.
Yeah, I give you that.
But you don't think Wilt Chamberlain would have been great with today's modern technology and advances in training? Come on.
He'd average 35 a game.
He would dominate, exactly. That you have to ignore the stats too. Because I said this is no knock on LeBron because he's clearly an all-time great. But Wilt led the NBA in scoring 7 times, rebounding 11 times, field goal percentage, that's shooting, right?
Yes.
9 times, and assists once. LeBron was the league leader in one of those categories just once.
And remember,
that's not James Ingram's song or Quincy Jones' just once. That's scoring just once. That's it.
And back in the day, they didn't keep track of official block shots. He, in my mind, I've seen him enough to play. The guy averaged 10 block shots every game.
I'll go a step further. They didn't have a three-point line back then. I know Wilt's not a great shooter, and he only shot 51% or so from the foul line. Well, if he and Shaq were such bad foul shooters, how come they kept dominating despite being fouled all the time?
Right.
I know the league only had, 8 teams back then? But you can't tell me the competition level. Hello, he played against Bill Russell, an all-time great.
Walt Bellamy, Nate Thurman.
6 Hall of Fame centers.
Okay.
It was not Wilt's fault that he played back then. But here's my issue with Dan's thing about wanting to ignore stats. That's fine. If you want to ignore stats, Dan, I'll give you that. And I'm not saying LeBron's an all-time great. But then don't gush. And he gushed, as did everybody, gushed about LeBron's, 35, 17 assists and no turnovers against Toronto, and he played phenomenal. He was phenomenal. Don't gush about LeBron stats, and now we're going to ignore Chamberlain stats. Like, it didn't happen. Don't gush.
Chamberlain, I've often said, is the most dominant player in the history of basketball.
Yes.
Dominant. I didn't say the best. No. Dominant. Michael Jordan, to me, is the best player in the history of basketball. LeBron's time...
Wilt was.
No, I'm sorry. Michael Jordan's the best player.
Wilt
Chamberlain's was the most dominant. Okay, there's a difference there. LeBron,
Bill Russell.
And I'm not done with LeBron yet because he hasn't retired. I like to see the guys who retired.
That's my whole point. Why are we having this argument while he's still playing?
Right, let's get him done. I don't even put Kobe Bryant a lot in the mix, and a lot of people say Kobe Bryant's the greatest player of all time.
A lot of people say he's better than LeBron.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he is, but...
And I won't go that way. The problem with Kobe kind of rubs me the wrong way, a little bit of a selfish player.
I don't think he was a better scorer than LeBron. He didn't make his teammates better as consistently as LeBron, and he also, well, they both have kind of broken up teams. That's our story around time. I don't have time to go with all that. But LeBron did it for different reasons than Kobe. But my thing is, if you want to ignore the stats, that's fine. But then do not plant LeBron on the pedestal and use his stats for your argument.
Yeah, you can't
do that.
When you compare players, if you're not using stats, what are you using? To grow a mustache or something? Who looks better with a mustache? You have to look at stats.
Okay.
And you can't go into eras and say,
keep it or shave it.
You realize 25 years from
ladies
now,
out there.
20 years from now, the people will look at this era, LeBron era, and say, well, he didn't play against anybody. What will happen down the road? You can't look at that. NBA basketball, and I've been with it a long time, the greats of every era are transparent in every era. They can be very good in every era based on what happened in those eras. That's how you look at it. You can't just blow it off and say, well, they didn't play anybody, whatever. Bill Russell was a 6'9", 225-pound center who dominated. People say, oh, he's not even big as some of the point guards.
The other thing is that he said, because Chamberlain was about 7'1", or thereabouts, and Durant 7 foot, you think he'd play in today's game? Hello, what centers in the league would guard Wilt today? DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard? Good luck with that. Put it this way, those guys wouldn't hang in the 90s with Robinson, Olajuwon, and Shaq. How are you going to stop Wilt Chamberlain?
Yeah, I'm done with it. Done with it.
Dan is great. I love you, Dan.
Oh, but
Dan, you are off your rocker on this one. You are completely.
Wilt Chamberlain, most dominant player in the history of basketball.
And Bill Russell's been the best winner. And it's by the way, it's no slight to say LeBron's in the top 10 or top 5 all time, but people today get a little sensitive about it. It's unbelievable. All right, let's do our MLB over-unders to close up
we're
shop.
switching to baseball.
Yes, we are. We're going to give you our top 5 picks. Ed's top 5 picks. I'm going to read them to you. And Ed will get Miami. He's got the Marlins under 84.5.
Yeah, they won't get 80 wins.
He's got Seattle under 81.5.
Might get 80.
Will King Felix be there by the end of the year?
Yeah, he'll be there.
He's a big-time Yankee fan, but he's going over 91.5 with Boston, the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox are going to win more games than the Yankees. Yes, the Red Sox are going to win the East Division.
Wow.
The Yankees are going to win the wild card.
Wow.
Now, can the Yankees win the World Series? Yes. Boston, right now, I can't believe I'm going to say this, is a better team than the Yankees.
So the Yankees got to go get starting pitchers, what you're telling us.
Starting pitching scares me.
I should go under the Yankees just to really rub it in, but I think they're going to do well. San Francisco under 81.5. Is this a knee-jerk reaction to Bumgarner despite picking up Longoria and McCutchen in the offseason?
I like their pickups, but I have a feeling the wheels are going to fall off in the middle of the year. I do. I think they're going to drop.
Probably indigestion, though. And your last one, you're going to go under again here for your third one of your top 5. Cincinnati, the Reds, under 73.5.
Why not?
They're
Why
not
not?
very good.
It's not
You're
that
going
good a team.
You're going to make the former boss of Virginia Prep, Zirkle Blicky, very upset you. He's a big-time Reds fan. Shame.
He better do something to go help him.
They need something to help Billy Hamilton, who's the fastest guy in the sport, but doesn't have enough help around him. Their pitching's not very good either.
No.
My turn. I'm going to go, and you can comment on these, over 69.5 with the San Diego Padres. They got good young talent.
Yeah, you like them Padres a lot. I agree with you, but I might say 70, 71.
Padres is in Spanish, right?
Padres. San Diego Daddies.
Yeah.
Who's your Padre?
Who's your Padre? That's what Pedro says. Call the Padres my daddy. Colorado's over 82 for me. They made the wild card game last year, lost to my Diamondbacks. They got a lot of good talent.
Yeah, I think they're over 82. I agree with that one.
They're good. They're good. Milwaukee over 84.5. You're not convinced.
No.
You know who they're managed by? An ex-D back for counsel.
Yeah, I don't see Milwaukee.
They made some good moves in the offseason.
I see them as a 582.
Good offense.
82.
Good offense. They'll outslug you.
No.
Okay. Texas under 77.5. They've not been good for a while. I think it's going to be an implode year for them. They're going to be sellers by the trade deadline. Tough division. Angels getting better. Astros are good.
Yeah,
Seattle could be sneaky.
But I could see the Rangers winning 77, right at 77.
Well, then I still win because it's 77.5.
Yeah, it's 77.5. So they put that half in there to screw us up.
And Dino is not here today. He'll probably beat my head into a wall when he hears this. I'm going under 94.5 on his Cubbies.
You know, I thought of that too. I think 94, 95 wins for the Cubs is a bit much.
I think they'll hold off the Brewers or Cardinals for the division. But remember, they had the hangover last year. They got Darvish in there. I'm not totally convinced Darvish is going to be healthy the whole year and great. I think they'll win like 90 or 89. I think they'll just go under.
I look at 90, 91. They're not going to get 94.
Well, let's quickly, rapid fire style, go through these division by division. We gave you our 5 pet plays or best picks. We'll see how they do. Yeah. You can't
not
say
that we're advocating bet.
Oh. Best our best plays. We like
best plays.
Yeah, best picks. Let's go through the Orioles now. The AL East here. We're going to go through them division by division. Not alphabetical order. They are 73. I'm going to go over just barely for the O's.
I'm going to say slightly under, and I like you Orioles.
You went over on the Red Sox. I'm going to
Yes.
go over. I think they'll get over 91.5. You went under on the Yankees.
Yes.
I'm going to make you squeeze. I'm going to go over there, too. I'm thinking a lot of overs here in the AL East. Tampa Bay, 77.5. Ooh, that's a lot.
Well, Boston and Yankees are going to win a lot of games. Based on what you're saying, you're going to have to get people down under. I'll say they're going to lose a few more than that.
So you're going to go under.
Under.
I'm going to agree and go under. And then Toronto's at 81. Will they finish at, above, or below 500?
I think slightly below 500 because if Boston, Yankees are going to win a lot of games, so
Under.
they beaten.
I agree. Cleveland, it is 94.5. Ooh, our Cleveland Indian fans out there. That's Rod Johnson and Mark Stufel's an Indians fan too, right?
Big Indian fan.
Sorry, guys, you're going to win the division, but finish just under, like the Cubs, just under the mark. Both of them in the World Series 2 years ago. Under.
I'd say they stay right at 94.5.
So did they get 95 or did they get 94? You can't have 94.5 wins.
That's right, 'cause you can't have half a win.
No, it's impossible.
They won 102
No
last
ties
year.
Either.
I'm going over 95.
Oh, yay for Ed Young. They like you more than they like me, which we knew already.
I already know that.
The White Sox at 68. That's low. Are they that bad?
Yeah,
pretty
they're that bad. They're that
So
bad.
you're going to go under?
I'm going under.
I think you're right. I might regret that later. The Tigers at 68.5. Are they that bad?
I don't, they still got Pujols. I mean, I know they lost a lot.
Pujols?
I mean, not Pujols. Cabrera. Why did I get them two
Cabrera.
guys mixed up? I mean, yeah, Cabrera. I'm going over. They're going to get 70 wins, 72 wins.
You know what? I like disagreeing with you. So let me change my White Sox and go over and go under on the Tigers. I'm going to say they're imploding. They're going to trade everybody off. New manager. Everybody out.
Well, Detroit has a new manager.
That's what I just said. New manager.
Okay.
You're
I thought
going
you were talking about getting rid
to
of
start
him.
from scratch is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And this will be a rebuild year. Now, I think Gardenhire will get them on the right track. The place that Gardenhire once was managing, Minnesota, the Twins, the Twinkies, 82.5. I'm going to go over. I like them. I'm not as crazy about them as everybody else is, but I like them.
I'm going under.
You're going under.
Going under.
Kansas City Casino Royals are 71.5. You going over or under? I think you're going to be like at 70. I'm going to go just under.
I'm going to go slightly. I'm going 72, so I'm going to have to go slightly over.
You're going to go 70. All right. The Oakland A's, Billy Bean's kids, 74.5. They got good young talent. Can they make a late surge to get to like 76 wins and go 76 and 86? You know what? I don't see it.
I don't either. I'm going under.
Sorry, Billy Bean. Angels, 84.5. I love this as an over. Why didn't I pick this as one of my top plays?
Yeah, I go over. Angels
Why didn't I pick this as one of my top plays?
Really improved.
Why? Tell me why.
Well, you're not always here.
They're going to show Ohtani, though. They love Ohtani out there to go with Trout.
I think he's going to be a bust.
You think he's going to be a bust? That's why you didn't go over, apparently.
Yes.
For the lock, I should say. 96.5 for the Astros. That's a lot of games. But you know what? They're going to get it.
I believe so, too. Yes.
I told you Texas was a lock as an under. Do you agree at 77.5? You going to go over or under? Over. You're disagreeing on me. Shame on you. You said Seattle's a lock at under. What was their figure? 81.5? I'm going to go over just to mess with you. National League now, so we're running out of time fast here. Braves 74.5. Give me over, just barely. Under. The Phillies 75.5.
Under.
I'm going to agree with Ed for a change and go under, just barely. They did make a couple decent moves. They picked up the pitcher from the Cubs, whose name's escaping me. That's why I can't say his name.
Arrieta.
There you go. Thank you. The Marlins 64.5 is an under.
That's my number one pick.
They're so bad. They're going to win 57 games. I agree. The Mets 81.
Under.
That's what I was going to say. Jay Horwitz, you're on the bad list too from the Mets. Throw him on the boat.
He won't let us get David Wright, our own Chesapeake's own.
But you know what? I got a lot of Mets friends out there. Jimmy Timmons, Dave Howell, good people. Brantley Henning,
Jimmy Timmons, good people.
Well, we'll be careful. Brantley, Gary out there, family. Yes, we can. I just did it.
Big Jimmy.
Big Jimmy, Dave,
Someone
Brantley,
says hi,
Gary.
by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to go over for you guys. Not for Jay Horwitz, but for you guys out there. The Nats at 92.5. I'm going over. I almost picked this as one of my top plays. They're good.
Yeah, I'm saying 93.
They don't
so I gotta
have
go
Dusty
over.
Baker hold him down anymore. Or
I
Matt Williams.
I like Dusty Baker.
You don't like him, but sometimes he might hold him down like Leonard Hamilton does. The Cubbies are 94.5. I went under. Are you going under as well? That was a lock for me.
No, you went under. I'm going to stay over. Just to go different.
Dino's going to buy you a pizza and a beverage.
I'll take that.
The Brewers 84.5 was an over for me. You don't like it at all. You're going to go under,
I'm
aren't you?
going under.
So that means if you don't like them, you must like St. Louis at 85.5 as an over.
I will, but I don't think this is one of your traditionally good, really good St. Louis teams.
I think they're going to be in the mix, have some ups and downs, and they're going to finish just under. Sorry, John Cyrus out there, big Cardinals fan. We got a lot of Cardinals fans out there in America. Who's next? Oh, Pittsburgh, 73. We're going to upset Richie Somerville. I think I'm going under here. We love you, Richie, but we don't like your Pirates. Sorry.
I'm going to say
McCutcheon.
I'm going to say 74.
Ooh, Ed's going to shock me here and go over.
I'll go one over.
And I took Cincinnati as an under. That was one of your locks as an under.
Lock. That's a lock.
Last division here, we saved the best for last. The NL West. It's always the best. Arizona, 85.5.
Under.
I hate you with a passion.
Under.
You know what though? I think you're right.
Right, that's one of your locks.
No, it wasn't a lock.
Make it one. It's a guarantee. They're
Not a guarantee. They're going to go 83 and 79.
They're going to trade Goldschmidt to the Yankees.
They better not. I'll really punch you in the face right here on live camera.
Not happening.
Live YouTube radio.
And then I got to show death on live radio. I can't do that.
I'll punch you in the face. They trade Goldschmidt to the Yankees. They better not do that. I'm not convinced Zach Greinke's going to give us a full tank this year and go to distance. And I think they'll finish just under. The Dodgers at 96.5, as Vin Scully would say. I think that's going to be an under as well. They're going to win 94 games.
They're going to win 97.
Okay. Take it to the bank. He said it. Colorado was a lock for me as an over. Do you like it as well as an over at 82?
Yes, I think
for
85.
For a team that last year won 87 games.
I think they get 85 this year.
Well, that would put them over. You had San Francisco as a lock as an under. I'm going over. And I had the Padres as a lock as an over. Do you agree they go over at 69.5? That's pretty low.
Yeah, I think they're going to get 69 or 68, so I guess I got to go under. I don't think they're...
Unbelievable.
You went over. I don't think they're...
You like disagreeing on all my locks.
There we go. That's what makes it good, because loser buys.
Well, Ed Jones is going to go buy me lunch. We're out of time. Make sure you watch Saturday High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com, 10 a.m. to noon each week. Comment on the YouTube section. Hit us up on Twitter, too, at HS Sports Talk 941, and visit ESPNRadio941.com as well as VirginiaPreps.com. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.